Rain drummed against the workshop windows like impatient fingers on glass. In the heart of London's Clockmaker district, Edmund Gear's shop stood silent except for the eternal ticking of 100 timepieces. The grandfather clock in the corner, a masterpiece of mahogany and brass, had just finished chiming midnight when the constable's lantern cut through the darkness. What he found inside would stop time itself for those who loved the old clockmaker. Edmund Gears had spent 40 years breathing life into clockwork. His weathered hands could coax music from the most stubborn mechanisms, and his reputation drew clients from across the empire. But success bred envy, and the old clockmaker guarded his secrets as carefully as his fortune. 3 visitors had called upon him that evening, each carrying their own shadows into his sanctuary of gears and springs. The massive pendulum had swung its final arc. Edmund Gears lay crushed beneath the brass weight, his body twisted at an impossible angle. Blood seeped between the floorboards like spilled oil. The grandfather clock towered above him, its face showing exactly midnight, but Inspector Blackwood's pocket watch told a different story. The body was cold, far too cold for a death that had supposedly occurred mere minutes ago. Inspector Blackwood sealed the workshop doors as rain continued its relentless assault on the windows. The key had been found in Edmund's pocket, the doors locked from the inside, yet somehow the killer had escaped. 3 people had visited Edmund that evening. His daughter Margaret, desperate to save the failing family business; Thomas Hartwell, the bitter former apprentice nursing old grudges; and Victoria Ashford, the imperious collector whose patience had worn as thin as clock springs. Each visitor carried secrets heavier than the clockmaker's brass weights. Margaret's ledger books revealed mounting debts and desperate loans. Thomas harbored resentment from a lawsuit that had nearly destroyed his rival shop. Victoria's letters spoke of deadlines missed and patience exhausted. Young Peter, the apprentice, trembled as he recounted the evening's events, how each visitor had argued with his master, how voices had been raised, how doors had slammed with the finality of coffin lids. The grandfather clock stood as the sole witness to murder, but its testimony was lies wrapped in brass and mahogany. Inspector Blackwood discovered tiny metal shavings near its base and oil stains on the mechanism. Someone had tampered with the timing gears. The clock had been deliberately reset to chime at midnight, creating a false timeline. But why? What truth was hidden in those stolen 2 hours between death and discovery? A bloodied wrench lay hidden beneath Thomas Hartwell's coat, the perfect tool for sabotaging a clock's delicate mechanism. When confronted, his composure cracked like old clockwork. He confessed to tampering with the grandfather clock, but swore he had only meant to humiliate Edmund, not kill him. The sabotage was meant to make the clock fail spectacularly when the wealthy collector arrived, but perhaps revenge had demanded a steeper price than public embarrassment. In the workshop's amber glow, accusations flew like sparks from grinding gears. Victoria Ashford denounced Thomas as a jealous rival driven to murder. Margaret pleaded her father's innocence of any wrongdoing, while secretly clutching the key to his hidden safe. Thomas pointed fingers at both women, his voice rising above the rain's steady drumming. But Inspector Blackwood watched them all with the patience of clockwork, waiting for the truth to reveal itself in its own perfect time. The truth emerged with the precision of a master clockmaker's final creation. Margaret had discovered her father's secret fortune hidden behind the grandfather clock's case, enough money to save the business and secure her future. But Edmund had changed his will that very evening, leaving everything to charity instead. In desperation, she had confronted him one last time. The struggle was brief, the pendulum's fall an accident born of fury and desperation. The reset clock was meant to provide an alibi, but time itself had betrayed her. As dawn broke over London's rooftops, the rain finally ceased its vigil. Margaret Gears was led away in shackles, her inheritance now measured in years behind bars rather than pounds sterling. The grandfather clock stood silent in the empty workshop, its pendulum still as death itself. In the end, time had proven the most honest witness of all, revealing that love and desperation could drive even a daughter to destroy the father who had devoted his life to keeping perfect time.